Hi, I'm Katharine Ashe. I am here at Duke University wearing my professor hat as Katharine Brophy Dubois. I am host of a speaker series here in the Forum for Scholars and Publics. The speaker series is called Unsuitable, and we talk about women and history and popular fiction. And our guest today is Caroline Perny of HarperCollins Publishers. Caroline is a publicist at HarperCollins. And I have a couple of questions. Welcome, Caroline.
Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have you here. It's fun. So I have a couple of questions for you about your life as a publicist.
Yes.
No, the first thing, the most obvious question is, what do you love the most about being a book publicist?
Well, I love books and I love reading and always have, except the books I love to read were, usually looked down upon. These great science fiction and fantasy novels and romance novels that I absolutely adore frequently get poo-pooed. So I really like to talk about those books and tell people why they're great and why those authors are great and why they deserve respect.
Oh, that's excellent. So this actually segues perfectly into my next question, which is, what do you love most? Okay, I'm asking what do you love most because, or what's the most, because these are the kinds of questions I get from my son all the time. Like, what's your favorite this? All right, so what do you love most about genre romance?
I like seeing people be happy. I mean, it shouldn't be that radical, but I guess it can be. In these books, you get to see people find emotional fulfillment and get to go off and do great things, and what's not to love about that?
Yeah. Well, that's definitely how I feel. The happily ever after, right?
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Question.
Okay.
This is digging into those moments of the real thing, the real job,
Let's
right?
get into it.
So, what is the craziest thing, or the most outrageous, thing where you were doing your job and then suddenly everything went horribly wrong?
So I'm gonna cheat a little bit on this answer because this was actually how I got my job. And I will preface this by saying I had interned at very small publishing houses and worked at fashion blogs, and really it's a different office environment. So I had gotten this interview at HarperCollins, fantastic, storied, historical publishing house, and I was like, well, I want to make a good impression from start to finish. Let me plan a good outfit and let me wear a nice blouse and a blazer because that's always a good thing.
You want to make a good impression.
And some nice heels, jewelry, a nice purse, and really a good pair of skinny jeans, which, full disclosure, you're not supposed to wear to an interview. And I know that now. I did not know that then. So I had this interview, and I hit it off with my boss, and we got to talking about books, and it went really well, I thought. And so the next day, I was in my internship at a literary agency, and the guy I was interning for pulled me aside, and he's like, "What were you thinking?" And I was like, "I was thinking about books. What are we talking about? I don't know." And he said, "You wore jeans to an interview, and they called me to ask if you understand about office culture." And I said, "Well, clearly not, but do you think they like me?"
Excellent.
Apparently they did.
Excellent. Well, we all love stories about heroines who really mess up, and yet the strength and intelligence and the talent shines through despite messing up. So that's you're the perfect romance novel heroine. So actually, that was my last question: is how do you get to be a book publicist? How does one end up? What kind of experience did you have, or what kind of education did you bring to it so that you became a book publicist?
I was in my junior or senior, it was my junior year of college, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta get this figured out. I've got an English degree and a degree in comparative literature coming my way," which you kind of have to, there's plenty of things to do with that, but you have to know what those things are. So I needed to do some research, and I went to my Career Resources Center in the basement of the Binghamton Library, and I was like, "Oh, wait, book publishing, that's a thing. Let me get into that." And I applied for a master's program at Pace University in publishing, and I got in. And from there, I just sort of explored all of my options: editorial, marketing, sales, and publicity. And as it turns out, I'm a good talker. And I really like talking about books, and I'd done a little publicity for my college radio station. So it became a natural fit for me.
Excellent. Well, I am, for one, am happy and grateful that that was your professional trajectory, because that way I met you.
Well,
so
likewise.
I'm very grateful. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Super fun. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.